guy engineer and let him to ask a question. The question is, how do I start a non-profit?
And good evening, everyone. Thank you again for attending Overseas Chinese Streaming Live. And my name is Ernest Roberts, and I get the extreme opportunity to address this question. The question is, how do I start a nonprofit organization? Nonprofits are traditionally a 501c in the United States. Okay? Each state has their requirement, and depending on what state you live in, these requirements will be or have to be addressed. But particularly a nonprofit organization, it is what it is. It's for nonprofit. It's donation based. If you're outside of the United States, particularly church organizations that expand globally, they reside or have an office location in the United States of America. It doesn't necessarily have to be Washington State. It could be any of the 50 states. Each state structure is different, but it's still a 501c, and it takes the liberty when it comes to taxation of being structured as a nonprofit organization. Now, schools can be and are referred to as a profit or a nonprofit. If it's a chartered school, it could be public and be a chartered school. That means there's compliance, usually a 5-year commitment. That means it consists of a board. And you can best believe even church organizations have board members, okay? And the purpose for that is to keep the nonprofit in compliance. That's financially, that's legalistically, in the perspective of making sure that they're always in compliance. So if you have outside locations, we build websites that are global, whether it be providing a product or service or information for a nonprofit. We set it up to where they can have multiple locations. So when we set up these global nonprofits, they can have offices start in the United States and have offices in any country from around the world. An example, Billy Graham, structured as a nonprofit in the United States, but he did crusades globally, as well as nationally and locally. There's not a person on the planet that has not ever heard of Billy Graham. And he has a nonprofit that's specifically designed for helping homeless people, providing support in natural disasters. You also have an American organization that's called Boots on Ground. They're a nonprofit, usually veterans, that go into harm's ways to help people in hurricanes and tornadoes, really pretty much help them to put their lives back together. Okay? So how do we structure it? We structure it with, one, having an address in the United States. Once it's set up in the United States, as I mentioned, you can go global. It's going to be very hard to set up a nonprofit outside of the United States if you want to operate in the United States. For instance, schools in Australia, India, there's compliance issues depending on the government that you're in, whether or not they allow you to have that status within the country. So oftentimes, to be politically correct, they usually have a location in the United States, regardless of what state they live in. So it's easier to structure a nonprofit organization. You can Google this. The only way that you're going to be able to start a nonprofit, it has to be started in the United States and build outside of this. So this is why when you structure the website, the website is created to where it's global and allow you to set up various offices very easily from what we call the admin panel, okay, or C panel. See, programmers understand that, we go in there, we change out images, we put in information, images, banners, change banner colors, because each year they may want to structure a different look. They might want more slider content, text information, links, backlinked, linked together. I mean, all of this stuff is stuff that programmers understand when we're building out these opportunities. So it's rather easy to get it started, but you must first have an American business address. Religious organizations, regardless of the structure of the religion, if they want to be functionable in the United States of America, and that's the only way they're going to get that status, is in the United States of America. You will very, very rarely, because every territory, every government is different. But anybody that's got a nonprofit organization, where did it start? Right in the United States. Okay? And Canadians, the same thing. Most Canadians, depending on if you're a border town or not, have homes in the United States. And because they have homes in the United States, they put together what they call a nonprofit organization that consists of various officers structured in that nonprofit with specific duties within that nonprofit organization. You have senior accountants, you have CPAs, you have grant writers, people that know how to write grants to the United States government to get more finances depending on what the nonprofit organization is structured as. So it's really pretty simple. You can't really do it unless you have a North America, United States address. Okay? Then you can start and go as any country you want to. So that's the simplicity. Now, again, like I said, you have to have a board. What does the board do? They govern the employees or the officers that are structured within that nonprofit organization. They make sure that they, and everything that they touch are responsible for, is in compliance. Compliance, they come once a month to check your books. So they come into your organization and they're going to ask for all of what they refer to as your articles. Your articles define what type of non-profit organization it is. So let's make it really easy for you. Okay, Overseas Chinese live streaming platform allows you to have these engagements with myself and others on different topics. Okay, but because I exclusively work with this organization, I'm here to share a lot of and answer a lot of the questions that you guys have. Why? Because I've been doing this on and offline for 35 years, people. You think I might know a few things? I'm not a know-it-all, but I'm always here to help people win, because most of the time people have vision, people have dreams, and then I encourage them to even dream bigger than that. Okay? You want a $10 million home? If you get $1 million home, is that good enough? You had a goal. You set a goal. You stuck to the goal. If you don't have a goal, you don't write it down on paper, you'll get up tomorrow, you may have forgotten about the vision. But if you have the vision always in front of you, like a dream board or a vision board is referred to, every time you go to shower, you want one in your bathroom. Every time you get ready to go to bed, you want a vision board when you get ready to go to bed. Put it on your ceiling. Put it anywhere that you have to see it if you go to the refrigerator, because it's going to keep you focused on the goal. And if you stay focused on the goal, if you don't get that $10 million home, and I'm not saying you won't, if you got $1 million home, you'll be just as happy, because you know what? You set a goal. It's all about goals, people. People have a lot of ideals, but you know what they don't do? They don't put it down on paper. I used to walk around town and I have all these visions about what I wanted to do. You see this here? I always walk around with 8 by 11 copy paper. Because guess what? When I have a thought, I can write it down at that moment instead of me going back to my office and saying like, what was that I said I was going to do? I forgot. Oh my goodness. You know, I'm not going to do that no more. I'm going to make sure, you know, that I got a voice recorder or I got a piece of paper to write my ID deal down because I can read my own writing. And when I get back to the office or at my home office, you know, now I can sit and put these components together and then it all makes sense. I can put it on a spreadsheet. I can always go back to it for reference. That keeps me on point. I don't get sidetracked. That requires discipline. Discipline. Vulnerability. Consistency. Willing to listen to someone other than what I have to say. But I do. If they're telling me something I don't know, I'm paying attention. You can best believe that. I got, what I just said, 8 by 11 copy paper. Baby, I got it everywhere. All the time I carry it with me. My office travels with me 24/7. I work 15 hours a day. I average 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night because why? I don't have a wife to go home to. I don't have, all my children are grown. I got a dog, he kind of talks back, mainly when he wants to go for a walk. Okay? So I have nothing to obstruct me. I can work any time of the day that I want to because I'm working for a common goal and I'm working with a platform of people that want to learn how. I wanted to learn how. So I paid attention to people that I got my respect because 1, they were consistent. 2, they spoke truth. 3, they had credibility. 4, they had integrity. And they were fully transparent. Nobody wants to, I'm going to tell you, drama is cancer. Negativity, let me put it like this. Misery loves company. And the people that start hating you when you start to succeed, because I'm going to tell you, you're going to get a whole bunch of haters. You're going to know you're succeeding because you're going to find out you're going to have a lot of resistance. There's going to be all these haters out there, you know, that's saying all this negative stuff about you, don't even know you, never met you. But because you know why? You're doing what they always wanted to do and can still do. They just have to make the choice. Life is simple, people. Success comes through choices. You either choose to or you choose not to. That's pretty simple, isn't it? I mean, those are the 2 choices we face every day in life about everything that we decide to do. There's consequences. There's been many things that I shouldn't have done, but guess what? I had to pay the consequences for not doing it. So that's why I come to you real. I don't come to you sideline, sideways. I come to you real, passionately. I'm here to help anybody win that wants to win. And this is what we do on this platform. Overseas Chinese live streaming is here to help get your questions answered. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Robert. Odin just text message to me, and he asked how to collect the money. What is the suggestion? You see a PayPal or Square? And do you have any idea?
Yes, I do.
Okay, please.
And yes, I do. And in answer to that question, 1, you're going to need a dynamic website. You're just going to need that. You're going to need the services that we provide. And, you know, if you work with us, we're definitely going to work with you. But payment, donations is set up through a gateway. There's many gateways that have POS systems that they lease to you, that you can connect to platforms like mentioned before, Square and Stripe. These platforms allow you, it doesn't matter what country you're in, to connect your bank account. Okay? Many people do business through ACH. ACH is a direct wire from my bank account to yours. It takes about 2 to 3 days for it to hit your account. When we work with global platforms, the way that we do with web development, we have many payment options for them. But the most efficient way for those that are not set up on Square or Stripe is to do an ACH transaction. Doesn't matter if it's 10,000, 20,000, whatever. So when they go to our site and click on the donation button, it's going to ask you for your personal information, first, last name, email address, your routing number, your account number, and then that connects that information from my routing number and account number, and they connect them and the transaction is completed at that point. And you can do that to start out. Then we introduce you to apps. What is Stripe? It's an app. What is Square? It's an app. And when you connect that to your bank account, oh my goodness, it tracks every transaction, which is good for the government because 501c get audited. Okay? And there's certain things you can and cannot do. And all of that is what? Good for your senior accountant. And your senior accountant does what? Works with your CPA, certified public accountant. It's just like an attorney, folks. You have a paralegal that does all of the work, types up all of the documents, and what do? They bring it into the attorney because he's gone to school and he has signing power. And he can review the documents that were created because he's the one that dictated the information. The paralegal dictated it back to him. He saw the finished product, he reviewed it, and he signed off on it because he could, because he's an attorney. Okay? That's how this stuff works. And the only way you know, if you don't know what you don't know, that's okay. We're here to teach you what you don't know. All you got to do is come to our platform. Okay? Again, overseas Chinese live streaming. This is where you need to come. Make sure, if you haven't, let me ask you again, click the like button and subscribe, people. That's how easy it is. We got people here that are willing to help you 24/7. All you got to do is support us, support our channel. Then our channel stays live and we can continue to provide you this content. And it's free to a certain extent. It's free to give you the summary, but when you want to take action, you're going to pay someone. Why not pay us? Because we already know what we need to do for you. Okay? So that's why I keep plugging overseas Chinese live streaming. Write that down, people. And matter of fact, don't write it. If you're on live, click it right now and hit the notification button. And guess what? Every time we go live, you get a notification. And if you hit that bell that's all notifications, you won't miss one. So again, was there another question there, Joe? Did you have another question there for the platform? Anybody else have anything, a question there that they, had?
Okay, if the customers or the audience have any idea, they can leave a comment. So probably you can answer them, right?
Okay. And so what Joe suggested is exactly what we're going to do. As we get more into this, there are going to be clickable links that we'll be able to take you to for shortcuts to get this information. But for right now, just leave a comment. Leave your question. And we will see it in the next time we go live, or I'll reach out and leave contact information for us, and I'll reach out to you, or we will reach out to you personally and provide that answer. All you need to do is just check your notification bell when we go live, and we're here to help you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Joe, for this opportunity once again to be interviewed. And audience, that we were able to answer some of your questions. Now remember, this is just a summary. There's a lot more content to come, but we only have so much time. We try to keep our live streams short because we don't want people to fall asleep. Okay? So we want to give you a bit of the nugget and just leave your comment and your contact information, and we will surely reach out to you and get those questions answered. Thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of our day on our platform. Thank you very much.
Bye bye. 嘉宾和主持人的观点
See, I love doing this kind of stuff.
不一定代表本台的立场 ，OK？
Awesome.
OK，
I love doing this kind of stuff. You